Hey, well, what we've been hearing, of course, throughout this pandemic about the shortages of personal protective equipment and, of course, those N95 masks. Well, there's been a big focus on trying to establish more of a supply chain here in the United States for those. And President Biden yesterday signing an executive order focused on Made in America. That's for really everything, especially across government contracts. As part of that executive order, the president is creating a director of Made in America for the White House Office of Management and Budget, which would make waivers for buying American more difficult to get and would also make them public. As part of this EO, he also is pledging to replenish our stockpiles that have been such a focus during this pandemic, and for America to make its own personal protective equipment. Now, one of the players in that space who's been sounding the alarm on this for a long time is Prestige Ameritech and its executive vice president, Mike Bowen, who joins us now. Mike testified in front of Congress back in May about how long you've been warning about this problem, that we don't make enough of this PPE here in the U.S. What has changed between May and now in that situation for you?
Well, having a new president is very exciting. The previous administration didn't take a scientific approach, and seeing Mr. Biden and his team take a scientific approach to this devastating issue is very exciting to us.
And one of the things that you laid out was that, during previous emergencies, in order to ramp up supply, that takes time, that takes investment. And then if there isn't the follow through there and the purchasing, you're left, having all of this ramp up and all of this investment, and it's financially very damaging to you. What kinds of contracts have you been striking now in the last few months? Do you have confidence in sort of this longer term manufacturing for this important equipment?
Yeah, the thing we did differently this time is we asked people to stay with us, and we had them sign contracts. So many hospitals across America have signed contracts with us for at least 2 years. This will allow us to know when the ramp down is going to happen, and it'll keep us from getting hurt like we did after the H1N1 pandemic in 2009 and 2010.
Well, there's still a demand for N95s that seems like it can't be met. Tell us what needs to happen in order to increase the supply of N95s. Is there a material that isn't gettable? What would help with this situation to really expand that? As folks are talking about with these new variants being more contagious, the public needing better masks as well as healthcare workers.
We have never historically sold to the public, so we don't understand that market. The hospital market, however, is, at least from our vantage point, seems to be okay. At this point, we have about 5 million more masks that we're making than we are selling. So we're actively looking for customers at this point. So the N95 shortage in the hospitals, I don't see.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.